Welcome into SportBet Extra. I'm your host, Paul Rami, here every Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. Today is Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. We've got a great show for you today. I will be going over my college football top 10, show you guys as well what's going on in the CFP. Also going to go over yesterday's action. Let's recap what happened there. Let's get into some college basketball tonight as well, maybe a little bit of NBA. We got a pretty big show lined up with a lot of information for you here, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So let's go ahead and start with the overall record. Again, I've been putting up my overall there, so we're transparent every day. Yesterday, we had 4 plays, all 3 in college basketball, swept there. We went 3-0. In the NBA, we lost that one there. So what we did have is UNC Wilmington minus 6.5, easy win and cover there as they blew out ECU. Murray State minus 14.5, no problem there as they handled business. Blew out Little Rock as well. Winthrop plus 22.5. I don't understand why that number was so high. Arkansas cannot defend, so we had Winthrop with an easy cover there. So 3 easy winners really in college basketball that we had yesterday. And then in the NBA, unfortunately, didn't go our way. We had Blazers minus 2.5. They just did not show up to play last night. Suns took care of business. So we lose that one there. So currently on the season, you can see here we are 14-8 in the NBA, 25-15 in college basketball. MLB, we went 3-0 there to end the season in the World Series. NFL 7-6, college football slacking there at 3-10-1. So again, hey, maybe my college football just don't tell me there. Just fade on my college football and you'll be in the green for sure. But we are plus 11.78 units. So $100 better, you're up $1,178. There you go. Go to sportbetextra.com, get my trial, 7 days there. You can get the month package, you can get the week package or the 3-month package. Plenty of options, but it's all there. Again, just want to be as transparent as possible so everyone knows where we're at. I will post a recap usually every day on X at Paul Rami there. So you'll see once the games are finished what plays we had as well on that day. So overall 11.78 yesterday, 3-1, solid day there. We're going to talk now about college football. Let's get into my college football top 10. And then I'll also put up with the CFP they have there yesterday decided. So first I want to get into mine and just talk a little bit about what happened over the weekend. A&M still maintains my number 1 spot. Could have been moved down because of that performance against South Carolina. However, I took it as more of a, man, this team, what a great comeback they did in the second half. They really pushed through. They pulled it out. And I know that was against South Carolina. I understand that. You're not going to do that against Ohio State. Not going to do that against Indiana. But it was good to see them be able to come back down from 27 points at halftime and win that game. So A&M, I do have them still ranked as my number 1 team. Indiana still number 2 there. Blew out Wisconsin. They have a week off now before the last game against Purdue in the regular season. So I just, they're most likely going to maintain that spot there for me. Ohio State, still number 3 there with Rutgers next and then Michigan on the road. That's going to be their toughest test when they have Michigan on the road. So Ohio State for me is number 3 until we see what happens that last game there. Number 4, Georgia. Huge statement win there over Texas. Pretty much knocks Texas out of consideration there for the CFP. Again, we don't know because last game of the season against A&M and, with Texas, what they're going to do there. It's going to depend how all the dominoes fall here for the rest of these teams. But right now, Georgia, number 4, great win over Texas. Ole Miss moves up to number 5. They handle business against Florida. They have one more tough road test against Mississippi State to end the season. It's never easy really going into Mississippi State. I know they're not an incredible team, but they put up points. So Ole Miss just have to be careful that they don't, fall asleep at the wheel on this game and let Mississippi State sneak out and get a win. So Ole Miss there, number 5. Texas Tech moves up to number 6. They've just been dominating teams on both sides of the ball here last month. I wouldn't be surprised if this team makes a run in the college football playoff and we see a big upset from Texas Tech against one of those other teams, like in Indiana or Ohio State or A&M, something around those lines there. I would not be surprised. Texas Tech, they look good. They're tough defensively. They deserve to be that number 6 spot. Oklahoma, I bumped them all the way up to number 7. That was a very tough road win in Alabama. I mean, they were outgained in total yards by Alabama by almost 200, and they still found a way to win. That's what good teams and good coaches do, is they find a way to win even in those type of games. Oklahoma up to number 7 for me there. Alabama, they get knocked down a few spots to number 8 for me, so they're still in contention. Oregon bumps down to number 9, not because of anything they did, but because Oklahoma beating Alabama just carries more weight for me. Man, that's just, with USC coming up, this may be the one that they lose that knocks them out of contention here for the CFP. I said it against Iowa. I thought they were going to have a very tough time. I really thought Iowa was actually going to pull the upset off there. Now they've got one against USC. We know what USC can do offensively. Very tough game. If they pull it off, then they do deserve to be there. I'll stop bashing Oregon if they go ahead and pull off this win against USC as they're expected to do. Lastly, Notre Dame there, number 10. Impressive win against Pittsburgh. I mean, they could have been number 9 and Oregon number 10, but again, that may change after this week. Notre Dame, again, will sneak in there. So let's swap that. I want to show you guys now what the CFP has after yesterday. So as we can see there, Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, A&M 3, and Georgia number 4. They do have Texas Tech number 5, Ole Miss number 6. I don't mind that at all. That switch, not a problem. Then they've got Oregon at 7, Oklahoma at 8, Notre Dame at 9, and Alabama at 10 there. And then, of course, you see Miami, Tulane. So if we're looking at this currently, I would expect Texas Tech to handle business against Tulane. That Texas Tech and Georgia game, that would be one very fun to watch. That would be one I would lean. Just take the points with Texas Tech. This team is really on a roll. And then we look at the rest there. I mean, Ohio State, if they're taking on either Notre Dame or Oklahoma, I believe they'd be able to handle business depending on what they do. Again, against Michigan, how do they look? If they blow out Michigan, again, they're a team that just is going to be tough to beat. And then A&M there kind of have a easy go of it, I would say. I mean, Ole Miss is not easy in any sense, but again, that's just, that would be a fun one to watch. A&M and Ole Miss. I'm not really sure Miami's going to have what it takes to get in there. And then Indiana against Alabama or Oregon. I'm high on Indiana. I love Mendoza. I think Indiana can also make a run at this as well. I would love to see Indiana and A&M match up there in the semifinals. That would be a tough one because I don't know who I would be on that once that were the case. But that's what we're looking at as far as a CFP so far this year. So that's college football for you. Gets you caught up, gets you ready for the weekend a little bit. On Saturday, we will be talking in depth. We are going to have a Saturday show. We're going to talk all college football, all NFL, with a co-host there that we'll be having on, a guest, as you could say, Bearded Baker Betts. He will be on. So we'll be posting about that later, probably today or tomorrow. just to get you guys ready, it will be an 8 a.m. Central Time show, early enough, right when College Game Day starts as well. You can watch us for a little bit, then switch over to College Game Day and watch their kicking contest and have some fun there. Let's talk tonight. College basketball. What do we have for tonight in college basketball? A lot of games, a few of them that stuck out to me that I do touch on really quick. The first one being Villanova at LaSalle. Villanova there laying the 11.5 on the road. Now, Villanova, they had a big coaching change in the offseason. They brought in Kevin Willard from Maryland and adding a lot of transfers from the portal. And those guys have already made an immediate impact. Devin Askew from Long Beach State, Duke Brennan there from Grand Canyon, Bryce Lindsey from James Madison. They're all putting up at least 10 points per game. So you love to see that when guys can come in and just score, give you points when needed. Villanova, they have an experienced team in terms of college basketball play, but not so much in chemistry. They do shoot the three pretty well. They take a lot of threes compared to LaSalle, but one area they struggle is that free throw shooting. With the type of pace that both these teams play, we do expect this to be a pretty slow game with a lot of missed shots and half-court sets. With that big of a number, I would lean LaSalle just because if it does come down to a slow-paced game where points are hard to come by, you're free throw shooting at the end, and you're asking Villanova, they're up by, let's say, 9 or 10. You're asking them to make free throws to cover that 11.5, 12. Maybe kind of a tall task. So I would be leaning probably LaSalle for this game. I don't know if I will have a play on this one. But again, plays will be posted after the show. But lean would be towards LaSalle there. Or maybe even just an under. If it's a sloppy game, slow-paced, missed shots, missed free throws, under would be the play. Low total there, though, 142.5. So be careful with that. Number 4, Arizona. Number 3, UConn. So this opened up at a 4.5. I'm seeing it now already at about a 6.5, 7.5, just depending where you're shopping. That's a big jump already. As long as Dan Hurley is coaching, UConn is always going to be a tough test, no matter what. They had 5 key players that returned in the offseason, with a lot of those being Terrace Reed. So the ball, of course, Alex Carabin. So you have that continuity that you need from your core and from your team there. Silas DeMary coming in from Georgia to run the point for this team really is the cherry on top. And he's been compared to another former UConn player, Tristan Newton. So that's what Dan Hurley wanted. He wanted a bigger guard to come in, run that offense, someone who can really take control of this team here. And he plays very well defensively. So Arizona, we have seen face some tough competition early in the season already, with impressive wins against 2 ranked teams and both being on the road. So we know Arizona is not afraid to go on the road and handle business. The only thing I would worry about with this Arizona team is their turnovers, as they've got to clean that up. You are not going to have an opportunity to turn the ball over and make mistakes against this UConn team. With this game having such a short number, it may be best just to take the points and hope this game stays close at the end, especially with it up to, I believe, a 7.5. I want to check right now on Profit X. Again, that's what I use for all my plays here. Everything that I give it out, it is Profit X. And I am seeing 7.5 UConn there, minus 104. I don't know if I would be on it. Not too sure about that play. But again, it opened up at a 4.5. Maybe now 7.5. You just take Arizona. I don't think I would be on this one, though, because I could see UConn just controlling this game and really being a little bit too much for Arizona. Next one we're getting into is Dayton at Marquette. Marquette laying the 4.5. Shaka Smart, he continues his philosophy of building from within by not going into the portal, bringing in any transfers. Did not go that route. He did bring some freshmen with a nice class there of actually 4 guys from ESPN's top 100 players. So he does a really great job of recruiting and building that program. He's more of that old school style of coach. You don't see him going out in the portal like all the coaches do nowadays. So with 9 players returning from last year, we know that team chemistry is going to be there. Now, those 2 early losses to Indiana and Maryland, they're tough because both of those teams, they can really shoot the ball well from the 3. they just have no problem throwing that up. This year, Dayton has actually struggled in that category where we've known Dayton's actually usually pretty good at shooting threes. That's tough for a team that struggles to rebound the ball. Um, it's just something that is going to be tough for Dayton to handle, especially on the offensive glass. They're not going to be getting a lot of second chance opportunities, especially if their shots aren't falling. With Dayton's true first road test, it'll be interesting to see how they perform. And I'd say true first road test. I mean, they did go and play on the road to Cincinnati. That's a 45-minute drive for them. I wouldn't really consider that a big road test. Limiting turnovers, that's going to be a key for Dayton to keep this game close or even with a chance to win it. I don't think we see that here tonight. I think Marquette is ready for this game. I would lean Marquette here with that short number. Again, I just don't think Dayton finds the shot tonight that they're going to need. So I would be leaning Marquette here for that game. And that may be one that we give out at the end. Let's go to USF at Oklahoma State. Interesting game here. USF 3-1, Oklahoma State 4-0. Oklahoma State laying the 5.5. Now, Oklahoma State, they did lose a lot of players in the offseason under Steve Lutz, second-year head coach. However, he did make up by adding 8 players in the offseason from the portal, some high major, some mid-major programs where he added guys. Victorious Miller from LSU being the main one. He comes in making an immediate impact, scoring right out of the gate. You've also got players like Christian Coleman from UAB. Jalen Curry came over from UMass. Those guys are already making a big impact for this team. And now Anthony Roy, he's going to add more scoring since his return from last game after coming over from Green Bay, where he was putting up 25 points a game over at Green Bay. So now you've got a guy who's back in. He only played last game. He'll be playing this game as well. So your scoring really improves for Oklahoma State, especially this game. What I like about this team, Oklahoma State, what I really enjoy is they have no problem sharing the ball. And you can see that guys can score at every level on this team. You've got 6 players in double-digit scoring. That's a great sign when you have that. We know that USF can score as well. They're putting up an average of 101 points per game, which is ridiculous in college basketball. But both teams, they run a fast pace. They're going to look to get up and down. I don't see much defense this game. However, this will be the Bulls' toughest test on the season. They're not going to see this type of defense that they've seen in games prior. So it will be a little bit more difficult for USF here. That's an extremely high total when I'm looking at that. A 179.5 is a wild number there. I would lean to taking over just because that number is so high. They're basically saying this is going to be one of those shootout games. But I'm not confident in that. I'm not confident in the other. I would most likely I'm not going to take either of those totals. Again, this one is a tough one to cap. I would lean just slightly Oklahoma State laying the points. If it comes down to free throw shooting, though, we know USF can cover late. So, again, not sure if I'm going to have a play on that one. Just wanted to kind of talk about that one a little bit here before I get into the last one, which is number 11, Alabama, at number 8, Illinois. Illinois laying 4.5. I believe it's down to a 3.5 now. I want to check what I'm getting here on Profit X. So as I try and scroll down, bear with me. There are a lot of games today that we got to get down to. And this one I'm seeing a 3.5 right now. So 3.5 minus 107 for Illinois. Alabama, we mentioned, fun team to watch with that backcourt of Philon and Holloway. Those guys can score. Fun backcourt. With some injury concerns for Illinois with their 2 big men, Alabama may have advantage here depending on what their injuries are going to do. Now, unfortunately, since we have to wait on that injury news for both of those Avicic brothers, there's probably not going to be a play on this game because we're trying to get our plays out early. This game reminds me of kind of going to be that Purdue-Alabama game, pretty much eerily similar to that one. The way Alabama played last Thursday, I would expect Alabama to be ready here with those injury concerns for Illinois with the 2 big men. You've always got to be careful working them back in. You don't know, are they going to be fully 100% healthy? Is there going to be maybe a small little tweak that causes them more injury? So with that fast pace that Alabama runs, I would lean Alabama here on a nice bounce back spot against Illinois. Don't know if I'm going to have to play on that. Just one way that I would be leaning here. For college basketball, that's going to be all I'm going to be talking about today. Arkansas State, St. Mary's, not going to get into that one. I would just take St. Mary's there. Southern Utah against Washington State, nothing I like there. So that's all we're doing with college basketball. And then again, I'll give out my play here shortly. In the NBA, quite a few games. Raptors at 76ers, Raptors minus 1.5. I don't know if I would be taking anything here. Again, we have talked about our NBA betting strategy. So yesterday, we saw what happened with the Celtics winning and covering there against the Nets. Now this game on Friday will be part of our betting strategy when these two meet up again. With that betting strategy, I'm going to tell you right now, whatever the number is, we are going to be taking the Nets plus the points. 75% win rate on the season, 6 wins, 2 losses so far with the strategy. No matter what happens on Friday, whatever that line is, we're taking the Nets with the points because of what happened yesterday in that game, the Celtics winning and covering there. Again, NBA strategy, we just go the opposite of what happened in the game one of that back-to-back. Looking at more games tonight, Rockets at the Cavs. As a Rockets fan, I would love to see the Rockets win here. They are a slight favor, 1.5. I will most likely be staying off of this game. Warriors at the Heat. Warriors, they just played last night at Orlando with that loss there. Now going to Miami. Not a huge traveling spot there, but still going down to Miami. Another one on the road before they return back home and play Portland. I would probably lean Warriors here, but again, I don't know if I'll have any play on this one. Nuggets at the Pelicans. I would just lay the big number. The Pelicans are just a terrible team. They really can't do anything right. Just looking at what they've done, field goal percentage is near last in the league. Free throw percentage near last in the league. Rebounding as well. They can't rebound the ball. They don't assist very well. There's just nothing good about this Pelicans team. I would, as long as Zion's out, again, I would be just not looking anywhere to get involved with this team. I know he is a game time decision for this game. Even if he does play, I don't know if that's going to be enough to cover that number there. I'd have no play on this game. Kings at the Thunder. The Thunder, they continue to roll. I know there was a lot of people that got backdoored at that last game against the Pelicans, but the Thunder against the Kings here at home, laying the 18.5. It's crazy with these almost 20-point favorites in the NBA with Thunder and what they're doing. It makes you scared, right, to lay 18.5 points in an NBA game. It's like you really think, no, I'm just going to take the Kings and there's no way. But the Thunder just consistently do it time and time again. They're just blowing out teams. They look like the championship team from last year. They look like they're going to try and repeat this year. I'm not going to have any action on this game, but I would just lean Thunder even with that large number there. Knicks at the Mavericks. Mavericks now, this team is very up and down. Again, I'm not going to get involved with Mavericks at all. I'm still just staying away from betting any games that they're on. Again, last one we talked about was them against the Clippers there. The lean was Clippers. That game went to overtime, of course, and kind of would have had you sweating there if you bet it. And then they come back, they beat the Blazers, then they go on the road and they lose to Timberwolves there on Monday. So I wouldn't be anywhere involved with this Mavericks team. I don't know if I would also like to lay points here with the Knicks, but I do think it's a bounce back spot for them here after just losing to the Heat. I believe the Knicks come back, they win this one, and they cover that 5.5 short number there. I'd have no problem laying points with the Knicks there. That's all I got for the NBA. We talked college basketball. We talked NBA. We talked college football. I gave you my top 10, and then we went over what the CFP has as well. The one free play that I'm giving out right now, let's go to Profit X. Again, use code Paul Rami there. Get you a nice 20% purchase. So I'm going to go down back to that Dayton and Marquette game. I want to find what that current line is right now because I am leaning Marquette. If I'm still getting a good number with that 4.5, then I'm going to be taking that there. So give me a second as I find it. 4.5 minus 124. That's a lot of juice. I'll take Marquette -5. If we get a push, so be it. I'll take -5 at -114, a little less juice there. That's going to be our free play. Marquette -5, -114 on Profit X. That's all we've got time for today for this show. Again, you can catch every live stream on YouTube and rewatch it there at Paul Rami. Follow me on X at Paul Rami as well. You'll get any of my updates there, live show notifications. As well, go to sportbetextra.com. Like I mentioned, go get the free 7-day trial. If you don't like it, no worries. It's free for 7 days. If you do like it, you make some money, then sign back up. You got a week package, month package, 3-month package, whatever you prefer. It's all there. All plays will be posted shortly here after the show on sportbetextra.com. Until then, I will see you guys tomorrow on Thursday. Have a good evening and good luck with your bets.